Peace, family. Welcome back to Love Thyself. I say, this is Joshua Oshun Lyles again. Thank you for coming. Those who are coming back, thank you so much. I am grateful. I am honored. Those who this is your first time, thank you so much for trying it, giving your energy. Hoping it resonates. If it does, please hit like and subscribe. I say. I also want to, I want to give a great big shout out to I'm Possible Tarot. By all means, please go check her out. She is beautiful. She is accurate. By all means, she is wonderful. Thank you so much, Your Highness, for supporting my channel, as well as 8th House Tarot, another beautiful soul. Thank you so much, Your Highness. Please go check out 8th Tarot again. Very beautiful energy, definitely accurate, okay? So what we're gonna talk about today is women being submissive, right? This is something that we have been taught for a long time, a very long time. Peace, goddess. Peace, goddess. Peace, sis. I see you. So when we talk about women being submissive, or anyone at that matter, anyone being submissive, I know a lot of us in this world, for the most part, have or still, a lot of people are still stuck on slavery in any form of fashion, whether it's the slavery of blacks, African, Indians, Irish, Jewish, right? We constantly are reminded, and for the most part, a lot of people still hold a grudge for being enslaved in some form of fashion. Even though this was years ago, it's understandable. Yet, however, what we have not realized that the woman, no matter what race, has always been a slave. We constantly are look back and reminded we got all the movies in the world, right? They want to tell us, hey, remind us of African and black slavery. You want to remind us of the Jewish Holocaust, or any, every race has been enslaved in some form or fashion at some time. But yet, no matter what race, whether enslaved or not enslaved, the woman, the goddess, the queen, has always been enslaved, right? We're talking about for centuries. For the fact that even in your Bible, right, has been giving you a story about Adam and Eve, and that Eve came from Adam's rib, which, if we can be totally honest, in no physical, spiritual way in the world that happened, or a man can create a woman in no form of fashion. But that's what we have been taught, right? The story of Adam and Eve is about Eve being influenced by the serpent to eat the apple, then going back to influence Adam to eat the apple. Okay. Yeah, it seems like she was the only one that was held accountable to the issue, right? If it was an issue. But in all truth, right, we understand that the serpent actually represents the Kundalini. And because the serpent represents the Kundalini means transformation, right? So in all reality, Eve was the one who transformed first. She is the one who decided to eat the apple off the tree of life, or what we know, the tree of knowledge. Right? And she was punished for that? Okay. We even had a story that we can go back about Lilith. Right? Now, if anybody know the story about Lilith, Lilith is pretty much known as the first woman, the first goddess, right? But she was not created by man, right? As the story goes. She was not created by man. She was created by a smokeless fire. She was created independently, right? So when the time came for Lilith and Adam to actually make love, have sex, Adam wanted and asked Lilith to lay down so that he could penetrate her. But Lilith said, no. You lay down, I say. and let me be in control. And for that, she was put in hell. Sounds a little drastic, right? These are the stories that we have been given to make the woman feel that she is beneath man, that she is secondary, right? This is how far and how long people in this world have been degrading and enslaving the woman, right? And these two stories are basically biblical stories to a degree, except Lilith, right? To show and prove, right, that a woman should be submissive, I say. Now, I figured I'd just go on some regular shit, right, and just go on Google, right, and see exactly what submissive means, right? So when I Google, and y'all can Google, the meaning of submissive. It says to be submissive is to obey or yield to someone else. When you are submissive, you submit to someone else's will, which literally you put your own desires over, your own desires lower than theirs, I say. We also have another meaning of being submissive, and that is to obey someone without arguing. Now, I don't know about biblical terms and how true they are. I wasn't there. But what I do know is that scientifically, spiritually, physically, a man can't create a woman. By far. What I do know is that when you are asked to be submissive, you are asking to do what? Give your power away. Right? Now, for this type of bullshit to go back this far, let's be real. The only way anybody would enslave someone for so long or for any time is because they fear them. Right? Because they fear them. The woman has been the most feared of all. She has been the most feared of all. To the point that they have even went as far as making it biblical to tell her or to prove us, to program us that she must be submissive. I say. And why? Why would they want you to be submissive, goddess? Why would they want you to be submissive? Why? It's because the only way they can control you is for you to allow them to. The only way they can control you is if you give your power away to them. If you do what they've been trying to tell you forever. I've been a man before. I used to believe the same shit, right? But this is shit they've been telling you all the time, right? Know when to shut the fuck up, ain't it? Every man in the world done say that right. A woman that know how to shut the fuck up. Why? Because 9 times out of 10, whether she's in her fucking feelings or not, what she's saying is true. That's why I hurt. Lies don't hurt. Right? Truth hurt. Truth hurt. For I don't know how long, people have been degrading the woman, the queen, the goddess. We can go back and we can talk about black slavery. We can go back into the 1600s, right? When we had African, black, Indian slavery, however you want to choose, that was enslaved, right? And we could look at what was going on to those slaves and even the women, I say. Yet at the same time, nobody even looked at the woman, period, whether she was white or black. So you gonna tell me that nobody even looked at the white woman who was forced to be submissive and allow her husband to fuck any goddamn body, I don't give a fuck what color she is, in her face, have babies by them, stick by his side, cook his dinner, use somebody else's breast to nourish her own children. She could not own land. She could not vote. She could not have her own mind without him co-signing. So no matter who was a slave at any point of time in life, the goddess has always been enslaved. She has always been enslaved. And it's time to let go. It's time to get back on your throne, goddess. It's time to get back on your throne. You are not here to clean nobody's house. You're not here to wash nobody goddamn dishes. You're not here to babysit. You were here to stand on your throne. I say. Even if we go back to the times when queens and goddesses actually did rule, they were the greatest at it. And even the wars that they had, if anybody go do your research, please don't take my word. Go research yourself. And it's just as simple as that. You can Google this as well. That the wars that they did have was because whatever male concubine they was participating with at the time, they allowed him to lead with her. And he created the war, right? But the only thing that you're going to see in Google for the most part of how many wars was won by a queen or a goddess or an empress, it's not going to tell you. It's going to tell you that women created the most war. That's why women are not in control now. What we have to realize is that life is about vibration, frequency. And the highest vibration and frequency throughout this earth, throughout this solar system, and as far as many, many dimensions as I know and most others, is love. Love is the highest vibration. Love is the highest frequency. Now, what is the feminine dimension? What is the goddess? What is the queen? What is the woman? What is the girl? Love, I say. So, we haven't realized that that's what's been going on all this time, because now it's called a man's world. A man's world. Why is it called a man's world? Because this power that we call the feminine dimension, or some would call feminine energy, is so fucking strong and so fucking powerful because it is love. And what is love? It's the divine. Right? Something that's so powerful that not only did they just degraded every woman, asked every woman to be a slave in order to be a man, in order to be with a man by submitting to him, being submissive to him, right? They've also went as far as to make sure as we grow up as children that we are stripped of this feminine energy, this feminine dimension. If there are little boys where fathers are actually around, then these fathers are so in tune with their masculine and their ego that they strip their sons of this feminine dimension because they fear they may be gay. They fear that they may actually like another man. They may find love within another man. Who cares? I say. Men are torn and stripped of their feminine dimension. Men are taught to not be feminine in no form or fashion. And this, my goddess, is why it has been so hard for you to have relationships. This is why it's been so hard, Your Highness. Because these men as young boys, myself as well, were stripped of our feminine dimension only to be truly connected with our masculine, totally disconnected from our feminine. And that's why men are out here who are homophobic. It's because they see what they deny. Because they see in someone else what they don't have. Because they have been totally disconnected from the feminine dimension that's within you, the spirit that never dies. This masculine shit, the skin and shit and all this shit gonna fade away some way, decay some kind of way, probably be eaten up by some ants or some shit. But the goddess will never die. The goddess will never die. The feminine dimension is the spirit that's within us that controls this vessel. This is where we find love unconditionally. So, Your Highness, I like to explain to you that most of the men that you have dealt with were stripped of their feminine dimension, no connection at all to it. Therefore, they were not able to love you. They were not capable of love you. Most men that are living and walking on this planet are not capable of loving you, Your Highness. They're not even connected to their feminine dimension, I say. So they're incapable when you're only leading with your masculine energy. The highest form that you can have is not love, it is infatuation. So men are looking at you and they being with you because you fine as hell. They being with you because you're gorgeous. They're being with you because they need your car. They being with you because they need to live in your house. They're being with you because if something is simple, because you make them look good when you go somewhere else, because you're teaching them how to be men. I know a woman taught me how to be responsible. A woman taught me how to pay bills. A woman taught me how to grow. I say, like most men, we don't want to claim the shit, right? Because we so much in our masculine and our ego. And it's not our fault. It's not your fault, gods. It's not your fault. Because you've been stripped. Your father and your mother did it. We've all been stripped. Now, as far as the goddesses, most of the women that's walking the earth, they still leading in their masculine too. However, they still have a connection. So they're able and still able to love. They may not be able to love in a healthy manner, but they are able to love. They are able to feel and have emotions. So my goddess, when you're talking to this man about your emotions, you have to understand that he's disconnected from his feminine. He don't understand what the fuck you talking about. And I know y'all been going through it and dealing with these men. I've been a man before, I say. So, but you have to realize that it ain't his fault. He don't even know. He don't know he's not connected with his feminine. He has been taught that he is supposed to be total masculine. Don't cry. None of that shit. Don't show anything that would be that would be looked at in a feminine way. Right? So he is totally disconnected from his feminine. He's disconnected from love. He's disconnected from nurturing. He's disconnected from being compassionate. He's disconnected from listening. That's why the fuck he don't hear you. He's disconnected from paying attention. He's disconnected from being loyal. He's disconnected from being faithful. That's why he always gonna think with his dick, honey. Because that's all he know. See, when you lead with the masculine, the highest form of pleasure or satisfaction that you can have in a masculine energy is an orgasm. That's it. And everybody like an orgasm, that's cool. But does it beat love? Does it beat nurturing? Does it being having someone being compassionate, thoughtful, loyal, trusting, honest? Does it beat that? Does an orgasm beat that? And something as an orgasm so simple that we can give it to ourselves. It's not that serious. But these men have been trained and programmed, we all have, and been stripped of our feminine dimension because she is so powerful. If we get in tune with our feminine dimension, this is when we are connected to the divine. That's why most women are spiritual and religious than men. Because even to get connected to the divine, you have to be connected to your feminine dimension. I say, in order for a man to even know who the fuck he is, he has to go in to his feminine dimension. A man don't even know who the fuck he is. He got to go through the goddess to even know who he is. The portal of life. I say. So realize, goddess, you are not here to be submissive to nobody. Right? And we all know, I done told y'all this story, or this example, how we all have as far as being children, right? Right? So little girls, they go, and when they tell a little girl, what's a good man, right? They tell a little girl, well, a good man, he's somebody who got a nice career, he got a great job, he got a nice house, he got a nice car, he can take care of you. I say, right? But anybody who is conscious know that if anybody taking care of you, that means they control you. I say. And then, of course, the little boys, we talk, right? When we want to know what's a good woman. But when you go out here and find you a good woman, you need to find you somebody who gonna be a good mother, right? Who gonna keep the house clean, who a good cook, who faithful, who loyal, who gonna be submissive. Servant traits. So when we're taught what a good man is, we're being taught that a good man is a master. And when we're being taught what a good woman is, we're being taught that she is a servant. I say, God, if you're not here to clean nobody's house, you're not here to raise them babies by yourself, I say, even though you do it so motherfucking wonderfully. Huh? I mean, some shit we ain't got to go look in no book and shit for. We see this shit every day, don't we? I mean, I know some good brothers by far, some guys who have been single parents and great at it. I say, I love them for that. But by far, I cannot count how many single women have been great mothers and have raised children by themselves and have been successful while they do it. This feminine energy is a great, beautiful power. And because the woman has been degraded, because we have been stripped of this feminine dimension, this is why the vibration of Earth, of Mother Gaia, constantly drops down. I say. Don't nobody want to see where it is. Don't nobody want to see the solution. But I have the solution and I know where it is. See, the highest frequency and the highest vibration is love. What is the feminine dimension? Love. What is love? The supreme divine, I say. So if the woman is always on her motherfucking back and struggling, then there goes the love. Because men don't know how to love. They just in they masculine. All they know is to be infatuated. All they know is to be successful with its masculine energy. Have a whole bunch of shit that people can see. Right? This is why the world is the way it is. This is why the frequency is so low. This is why the vibration is so low. It's because we have constantly, for over centuries, been stripped of the feminine, been allowing our goddesses, our queens, our women, our girls to be degraded from being the alpha and omega into being submissive, into being servants. No, Your Highness, you are not here to be anyone's servant. You are not here to be anyone's slave, I say. The goddess is the Alpha and the Omega. The last time I looked, the light was pulled out of the dark, I say. The light was pulled out the dark. If the light was pulled out the dark, then everybody know that the dark is the goddess, the feminine, and the light is the masculine. So who really created who? I don't give a fuck what story you give me. We know who and what the Alpha and Omega is. It is the woman, the feminine dimension. I say, you're not here to be submissive, goddess. You are here to be respected. You are here to be honored. You are here to be grateful to be in your fucking presence. See, when it all said and done, we as the masculine are here to protect your entire existence with our entire being, I say. Mind you, in return of reciprocity, you come to be our protector and protect our soul, I say, not our existence. Protect our soul. Well, why she just protect the soul? Because so that you can protect her existence. She protect your soul so that you can protect her existence. She makes sure you are whole. She makes sure that you are whole. So when it's time for you to protect her existence, you are going to be the bomb. You shall not lose. Because she has strengthened you. She has made you whole. So she know when you protect her, she got it. I know what I created. I know what I built. Nothing can touch me. The God won't let nobody touch me. You're here to protect her existence. Why are you protecting her existence? Because nothing exists without her. I say. Nothing exists without her. So therefore you protect her existence with your entire being. But you gotta be whole, God. You gotta be whole. You gotta get in tune with your feminine too. You gotta be whole so that you can protect her existence. Life evolves and constantly moves forward because she is here. If she is not here, everything stops, I say. We have been fooled. We have been directed and distracted with all this other shit or all these other times where people were being slaves. I don't give a fuck even if the Chinese was being slaves, but the Chinese women were slaves too. Even though we had slaves over here and we had black men and women enslaved, but the white woman was enslaved too. Everybody looking at the slaves, but ain't nobody looked at the woman and say, hell, she was a fucking slave too. Been that way. And the only way that you or that they can control you, the only way that anyone in this world can control you, Your Highness, is if you be submissive. If you give your power away, if you allow them to have your power, it can't be taken from you. You have to realize that. It can't be taken from you. You have to give it to them. That's the only way they can have control of you, if you give them the power. That's how powerful you are. That they have to ask you to be submissive. They have to ask you to give your power to them. Because they can't take it. It's time to stand on your throne. No more being submissive. As a couple come together, there should be two energies that are balanced. Two energies that come in and still keep their independence. No, you don't clean the house, God. It's we clean the house. You don't cook, goddess, we cook, goddess. You don't wash the clothes, we wash the clothes, goddess. You don't raise the kids, we raise the kids, goddess. That's not your job. That's not your position, but you do it so wonderfully because you built for it. I say, you built to be nurturing. You built to raise kids. You built to raise men. I say. People can talk all they want to, but there's plenty of men right now that are successful, more than successful, than they ain't have but one parent, and that was who? The goddess. She showed her power all the time, but we refuse to see it because we want to stay into this masculine energy that they have created that they call a man's world, for everyone to lead in their masculine energy. Therefore, we've all been trained to feel and have the same perception that success look the same on everybody. Everybody out here fighting for the bag. Fighting for slavery, some shit y'all wasn't even there. Yet, the goddess is still under war. They're still stripping our children. We're still stripping our children of their feminine dimension. They're still asking you to be submissive, goddess. It's time to stand on your throne, beloved. You're not here to be submissive to anyone. You're here to be in your full power at all times. Make sure that you choose someone who will allow you to be in your whole power, not fight against you, not want to ask you to be submissive. If they can't stand with you, goddess, then they ain't gonna fall with you either. I say, you're not here to be submissive. You're not here to be enslaved, goddess. It's time to take your throne. I love you all. Peace, your highnesses.